Hello and welcome to Chemistry 1211. This is without question the absolute hardest class in this entire school. If you can get through this class, you can get through any other class. What makes this class so hard though? So realistically, it's not about the material itself. Yeah, there's some really hard concepts, but overall, the really hard part is that there's so much information in such a short amount of time. In regular chemistry, we'll spend 3 months talking about different topics. We'll cover all those same topics in this class in 3 days. In 3 days, we will do what I do in regular chemistry in 3 months. So that's how fast this class is. 1 day represents 1 month in a way. So it's very quick. Okay, again, the material's not hard per se. It's just there's so much of it and you have to memorize so much. So much of this is memorization. You need to find out what works for you to memorize information. Whether that's practicing skills over and over again, whether that's making flashcards, whatever works for you, you need to figure that out. Now, this class is broken up into 5 credit hours. How that works, and that's probably usually the most you can get in college too. 5 credit hours is 4 of those hours is from lecture, so we will spend 4 hours a week doing lectures. Actually, the lectures are actually online, which I'll get to later, but we'll be practicing skills. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Thursdays are our labs. Now, labs are supposed to be 3 hours long. We have 1 hour to do it. A 3-hour lab, we have to condense it down to 1 hour. Last year, we did it where we combined 2 bells and we did it in an hour and a half. I may have to do that where maybe on Thursdays, you either bring in lunch or you bring lunch up from upstairs or Mr. Osborne provides lunch. But we have to get those labs done. The labs are very different than 1311, so which is kind of good. They're neat and organized. You'll get a binder like this where it'll have all the procedures. It'll have data tables. It'll have questions. There are no formal lab write-ups whatsoever. Basically how it works is there's a pre-lab questions. You have to turn in the date of the lab. No late exceptions. They're due before lab starts. We get right to the lab. And then a few days later, you owe me the post-lab questions. I will say this, though. Unlike 1311, the pre-lab and post-lab questions are much more difficult. Unlike 1311, the exams are much more difficult, much more critical thinking involved in them. Now, again, though, you all can do this, but it's all about setting priorities. Again, the reason why this class is so hard deals with the volume of information in such a short amount of time and the difficulty of the exams. But if you are on top of your game, if you know the material, if you've memorized all your polyatomic ions, you memorize how to figure out charges and all this and that and all this basic stuff, the exams really aren't that bad then. But you just have to memorize so much. Now, there is also no homework exactly in this class. There are what's called Ed Puzzle videos, what you're watching right now. So Ed Puzzle lectures are the following. They are the lectures for the class. So this is where the platform where I'm going to teach you all the material. So you have to watch these before you come to class. Otherwise, they don't even count at all. They are due before you come to class. In fact, in this class, you need to be well ahead of where we are. Not too far ahead, but you need to be able to understand what's going on for that entire week. When you get a syllabus on the first day, it's going to show you what you need to have done for that week in terms of reading the textbook. So, for example, the first week of school, you should already have Chapter 1 done. Front, back, you should have Chapter 1 done. You should know exactly what's going on in all of Chapter 1. In week 2, I think it's like Chapter 2, sections 1 through 4. You need to know everything from 1 to 4 before we start that week. Now, again, you're going to watch these Ed Puzzle videos. You're going to listen to the lectures. You're going to answer the questions that go along with them. That's 10% of the overall grade. Now, there's not exactly homework. What I'm going to give you is called suggested homework problems. They count for 0. So Ed Puzzle videos, the lectures are 10% of the overall grade. It's graded on whether you watch the whole video and how well you answer the questions. And they're graded by accuracy, by the way. The suggested homeworks count for 0%. They don't count for anything. But the lectures and the suggested homework, if you don't do them, then basically you're going to fail every exam. because that's all the information you need to either A, know, or B, practice the skills for the exams. Now, what I'm going to deeply encourage you to do is, if you have questions about the suggested homework problems, bring them in. Come in the morning, come in after school, let's go over those and see if you got the answers right, and if you got them wrong, what went wrong. Okay, it is so very important. And that's my last topic, is so much of this class relies on you. You taking the initiative to come talk to me. When you come into class, I expect you to know exactly what's going on. That is the expectation. When you're in the classroom, I expect you to know exactly what we're talking about. I am not there to reteach. I am there to help you guys practice the skills. If you want to learn how to do something, you watch the Edpuzzle videos. If you're still confused, then it is your responsibility to come in before school or after school. That tells me if you come in before or after school, that doesn't mean you need help. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with needing help. Nothing wrong with that at all. But during class time itself is not the time for needing help. We'll use that time to practice skills that you may not be 100% on, but again, you should have a very strong understanding of what we're talking about. So if you come into class and you're not prepared, I'm not going to be a happy professor. When you come in before or after school, I'm expecting you, okay, this person needs help, and there's nothing wrong with that again. I'm here to help you get to where you need to be before or after school, okay? I'm very polite before or after school. You don't think, oh, he's just a jerk, he's not going to help me. I will help you out before or after school. During class, though, I'm expecting you to know the material. So again, this all relies so much on you. You have to be on top of your game. You have to practice these skills. You can do this, but it takes a lot of effort and it takes setting priorities. But again, the fact that you're even able to take this class automatically means you're smart enough. The number one reason people drop out of school, college specifically, is not because they're dumb. Absolutely nothing to do with that. The fact that you get accepted to college means you're automatically smart enough to be in college. The number one issue that makes people drop out is because they can't set priorities because they're not used to the independence, and then they fall behind. Okay? Don't be a statistic. You can do this. If you need help, come seek help. It will be here waiting for you. You got this. I believe in you guys. Okay? Get ready for your assignment. This is going to get you prepared for the first 2 chapters. You guys got this.